So in this video, it's going to be a completely unfiltered video. I'm going to be explaining exactly how I'm going to be building my own company to six figures within the next couple of quarters of 2026. 2025 is coming to an end. I did make a reel about this, and a lot of people want to know exactly what strategies I'm going to be using. So I'm just going to show you everything right now. So let's just get it. So here is exactly the entire strategies behind Clients Forge and the company we're building. Let me just explain first of all the idea behind this. So you probably know what Y Combinator is. If you don't already know, it's like a startup, incubator. These are the startups they have invested in winter 2025. So this is like winter 2026. So this is exactly like precisely at this point of time, exactly when I'm recording this video. Let's take a look at every single one of these startups. AI concierge for equipment sales and services and rentals. AI platform. Open source transcript native agentic workflow builder. World's first AI note taking device. Sales intelligence. AI voice agent. Usable training datasets. Final in one open source. AI native workspace. Design and prototyping tool for AI and native teams. If we take a look at the broader general terms behind all of this, it is all about AI, right? Which is very interesting because this is a very successful startup incubator. Like Y Combinator is a very successful startup incubator. Why are they investing so much into AI driven solutions? And specifically, if you look at this, most of these are B2B AI SaaS. Yes, most of these are B2B AI SaaS company. So the question begs, why? Why are they doing this? This is exactly what I want to talk about in this video, the exact sort of mechanism in the market that is changing right now, and how I'm going to be leveraging it for my advantage. I might be wrong. I'm not saying I'm the most perfect. I'm like a genius in business. I'm not a genius, obviously, but there's just some theories that I've come up with, which is exactly what I'm going to be doing myself. So let me explain right over here. Things are always going to be going and tending to break, which is also known as entropy. Entropy is a state of randomness or disorder. So no matter what system you build, let's say you build a system, this is your custom system, it's always going to tend to break. Always. Every single trend within the any sort of market that you're in is always going to tend to break. That's just how naturally the nature order is. The nature creates things and then it breaks things. So if you take a look at this as the first principle, this is the first principle truth of this universe. Things tend to break. They move towards entropy and they break. If you take a look at the dot-com boom, so when my dad was about 25 or I think 23 or something, they had the dot-com boom. Every single business went online. So there was a huge uprise trend in online business. Then what happened? It broke. Now everybody's online, so it's not really like a big thing. So if you try and market and say, oh, you need to make a business online, ain't nobody giving a shit of attention to you at all. You're a dumbass, brokey dumbass. If. So things tend to break. If you take a look at the AI boom as well, right now as well, it's happening in the same way. The AI thing is blowing up. It's going to come crashing down soon in a way that AI is going to be integrated in every single component within the business. If you take a look at Y Combinator, they said this themselves that they are investing a huge amount of money into software, into companies which are building AI tools. Now, these are not single ingredient AI tools like I like to call it. They're not simple automations, NADN automations or make.com automations in which you fix one thing. So for example, let's say like you create an automation in an Excel sheet. That's not what I'm talking about. This is the things that is outdated. I'm talking about a multi AI agent or multi AI solution mechanism in which you have got interconnections between a huge plethora of problems and solutions being provided to people. So there is a huge interconnection between what is happening. This is what I like to call this complex AI ecosystem. That is what we're going to be building. That's what I'm going to be focusing my attention on. Yes, info is good. Yes, I know the creator business or the creator economy is booming. But guess what? Everybody is doing it. Everybody. So because everybody is doing it, let me explain how this works, right? Let's say this jar is your market. Now let's say before the boom or before it became popular, these were the amount of people competing with you. Super less, super concentrated. Like it's not really that hard. So any sort of value you provided worked. This is why, people who used to talk about the start of this year, like create valuable content like me. I used to preach the same thing, create valuable videos. Creating valuable videos is not wrong. The tendency or the quality of what is valuable has decreased. Now, because everybody is doing the same BS, what people tend to believe to be quality has reduced. So what actually was quality like at the start of this year is not anymore because of this high amount of supply and low amount of demand. It's a supply and demand graph, simple as that. Now, because of this mismatch between supply and demand, we are in a scenario in which every single person who runs like a B2B company or even a B2C company, they know a personal brand is important. But when they start to do this, they get mediocre results because everybody is doing it. Because they don't understand from first principles what to do. You probably experience a scenario in which you want to build a personal brand. You know you have to. You know what is supposed to be done as well. You don't lack the education of it. Maybe you do lack consistency. A lot of the people that I talk to, they lack consistency in things. They lack the consistency of doing the thing itself. But overall, you know what you need to do. It's just a matter of doing it. But the problem now is because you're still doing it, it's still not getting you any results. Doing it is not getting you enough results. Why is that? Because if you take a look at this again, take a look at entropy, every single thing is going to tend to peak. What worked a few years ago, maybe at the start of this year, might not be working right now. So it's all about staying ahead of the curve. That is where Clients Forge, my company, comes into play. I'm building a growth firm for B2B startups in which we leverage outbound plus inbound strategies to scale your startup, to scale your business. Everybody is doing this. I'm going to be honest. A lot of people do this. What am I doing that's going to be differentiating? This is the key point that I'm talking about. That's not what my main goal is. I don't want to take high ticket amounts of money and give people a course or a video. I like to build courses. That's not the main thing. I want to sell infrastructure. Like we talked about right here. YC is investing into companies, startups, which have this multi-agent sort of solution, multi-AI agent solution. That's what I'm going to be building with my company itself. So if you take a look at this, outbound is a big important factor because inbound takes a lot of time. So you've got outbound, you've got inbound. I build custom AI solutions for both of these so you can automate this. So it's sort of like this. Every single person who wants to become my client, I onboard them on this custom software, which I'll show you right now, which is going to generate assets, videos, solutions, or basically like outputs of the thing that you want automatically. So you don't have to spend a lot of time. So phase one of the entire infrastructure, first of all, becomes creating the foundation. So creating your ICP documents, creating your position, your offer, your brand strategy. How are you going to position your solution based on the awareness level of the market? I can make a video about this exactly. I've spent like 6 hours thinking about brand. I've come up with the exact blueprint that every single successful brand has used. There is not a single exception in this world who has not used that exact same framework. I had to spend 6 hours of deep thinking into figuring that out. I can make a video about this as well. We use all of that to create this basic strategy for your company, for your B2B startup. Then we install outbound system, which basically is like the lost art of outbound. Everybody, you know, you've done outbound before, you don't really get responses. Outbound mechanisms to generate insane amounts of trust within the people that you reach out to so that the solution that you're selling makes sense to them, instantly makes sense to them. That's what you do firstly. So now you build an outbound system to get calls booked on the calendar in a predictable way. Next thing is building the inbound system, which I'm going to show you right now. The exact SaaS that I've built for inbound, which automates every single thing. It's basically a creative director for your business, an entire creative director for your business. Let me explain this stages first. So we build an inbound system which will compound over 6 months of time. That you can stop relying on outbound and focus on inbound. Then obviously it's team and hiring. So you can have people in place so that you build a brand of purpose and impact, because that's what I value. I value impact over everything else. Let me show you the app that I built. This is in extreme beta stages, by the way. So don't really expect it to be super great. This is what is called Creator OS. It's the app. It's called Creator OS Agents. This is where you're going to be talking to the agents for specific use cases. So for example, let's say I want to know how Alex Hormozy did his shit. You can ask the brand genesis, and it's obviously I'm not connected it because I don't want to show you guys that I'm building that out right now. So I don't want to show a broken sort of output, whatever. But this is how it's going to look like. You can talk to this brand genesis bot. It's going to give you answers to your specific questions. You can go into the things section. This is where ideas are going to be made. So you can see on the right hand side, you've got this chat bot right here. You can just ask it ideas that you want. You can input ideas, put it over here. So you have ideas to work with based on your offer and ICP and your brand strategy. So think about this. You don't have to come up with ideas. You don't have to ask ChatGPT what to do. You can prompt it, whatever. You don't have to do that shit. It's just completely automated inside of here. YouTube videos, ideas, everything inside of here. The main, obviously, where you can talk to people talk to these agents or psychology experts. So if you want to know more about the psychological aspect behind why something works, you can do that right over here. Market research, conduct market research. You've got the create section in which you can script. So scripting Genesis, you ask it to script the videos. You get the scripted videos automatically right over. Then you've got the assets section in which you can have story sequences. So for example, right here, you can have the exact copy to put in your story sequences on Instagram to generate leads within the inbound system. Another great thing, flowcharts. This is one of the a lot of people keep on asking me, how do you build Miro boards? This is how you do it. You can ask AI. This is very interesting. You can literally ask AI to build you flowcharts for your specific use case. Miro board diagrams, little flowcharts to make videos like this based on whatever the idea is, completely automated. So inbound then becomes a super automated aspect of your life. Inbound becomes easy. You don't need to have a team. Outbound becomes easy because we hire the team to do it. We're essentially creating a scenario in which your company is going to scale regardless of what you sell, creating a niche of one. We're creating a niche of one by using AI systems to automate it completely so that you don't have a lot of overhead costs, overhead management. We manage this softwares for you. So I onboard you on this software. I manage all of the software for you so that you don't have to think about the random bullshit. You can build a company which is actually based on impact and purpose, which is what I really deeply care about. This is what I've thought about with my company for Clients Forge about how I'm going to scale to 6 figures. If you want to know more about it, you can message me on Instagram. Whatever, I'm just going to end this video right now. Need to go and work right now. So I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Don't sacrifice your future self for the pleasure today.